Hello, my name is Adam, and I review things. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 movie about Donald Trump called The Apprentice. If you stick around to the end of this video, I will tell you a dad joke, so please stick around until the end. Yeah, so this movie came out in 2024, but they started producing it in 2018, and they had a lot of problems producing it because Donald Trump is famously prone to lawsuits. And actually, it's kind of a funny story because it was funded by it was funded by a guy. I don't know. Yeah, Dan Snyder. So Dan Snyder used to be the owner of the Washington Commanders. But anyway, he funded this movie thinking that it was going to be like, oh, Donald Trump overcoming adversity to become like the great leader that he is. But this was a very brutally honest and realistic appraisal of Donald Trump's character. And one thing that I really liked about it is that um, it really hinted at his political future, but it didn't actually involve any of it. So this is about his sort of relationship with, well, not sort of, it is about his relationship with Roy Cohn and his ascent as you know, the public figure of Donald Trump in the early 80s and early 90s. And it stars um, Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong. So Sebastian Stan is playing Trump, and Jeremy Strong is playing Cohen. So Sebastian Stan, if you don't know, he plays Bucky in the MCU, and he did such a great job that I did not really realize that until I read the Wikipedia article. So really great acting. And I reviewed recently a movie called uh, Oppenheimer, which is probably much more famous than this one, and came out, I think, around the same time. But Oppenheimer is a biopic, and I said that biopics don't generally work because they talk about um, the whole experience of somebody's life. But this one does actually work because it's all about this relationship between Cohen and Trump. And if you don't know who Cohen was, he was this like lawyer and fixer who worked for like a bunch of unsavory causes, right? Like he worked for Joe McCarthy at the height of the Red Scare. He was the prosecutor who won the trial that would execute the Rosenbergs, I think, who were spying for the Soviets. Um, and you can debate if that was unsavory or not. But then he worked for Nixon, and later he met Trump, and then the movie kind of makes it like Trump became his protege, and that Cohen created this monster, and Trump just like he outshone Cohen and then got rid of him. And I think that that's not actually true. And the problem with finding out what is true in stories like this is the two main characters lied and lie all the time. So, how can you know what the truth is if the main point of the character is that he never tells the truth? Um, and it's weird because this film was directed by, uh, what's his name? Directed by Ali Abbasi, completely independent film. And like they wanted to distribute it, but it was during the election year, so um, a lot of cinemas didn't want to take the risk, and Trump was like very, very like, no, 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 this is not going to happen. So Abbasi was like, yeah, let me show Trump this movie. He'll really like it. And I'm like, I think that Trump is an idiot about a lot of things, but he would not like this movie. It's not a very positive depiction of him. Like, the question is, like, how true is it? I think, like, in terms of the relationship between Trump and Cohen, I think it's fundamentally not true. And what I mean by that is, I think that Trump is very, very good at reading people. I think that's the way that he was president twice. We can argue if that was a good or bad. It was a horrible decision both times, but I think like the movie kind of makes it feel like, Cohen took this guy who was a little bit idealistic and sort of like warped his mind with all of this like poison. And I don't think that Cohen was the poison. I think Cohen was a bad guy, definitely, but Trump was also equally bad, and they just kind of gravitated to each other. The movie centers around, as I said, Trump's rise as a real estate mogul and the way that they met. So basically, Cohen, Trump really wanted Cohen to represent the Trump business because they were being sued for discriminatory hiring or renting practices. And Cohen goes to him and it's like, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair. And he's telling like this great spiel, like very, very energetic. And then, you know, uh, there's a point in the trial where Trump is like, oh, what's going to happen? Are we going to win? And Cohen's like, no, no, you're not going to win. This, like, your case is like really, really weak. And Trump's like, yeah, yeah, but you said we're gonna win. And Cohen says, you literally put C on applicants of, African American, I don't know what he says, like probably something a bit more racist. Like, you literally put C on their applications. Like, the application officers literally put C. What do you think that means? You know? So Trump was like, oh, shocked. And then Cohen goes and bribes some people. And I don't know if that really happened or not. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. It's certainly not something that wouldn't do. That Cohen wouldn't do. So yeah. So that happens, and Ray Cohen's a real big success, and then he kind of like takes Trump under his wing and like teaches him how to be a mogul, essentially. And as I said, I think that this bit of the movie is a bit unrealistic because I think that Trump knew much better than Cohen how to be Trump, you know. And I think that Trump used Cohen and Cohen used Trump. It's Cohen. It's not Cohen. I keep saying like it's Cohen, but it's Cohen. Anyway, they used each other. And I think that the movie is suggesting that Trump is such a despicable human that when Cohen was sick, he kind of threw him away. And that's also the reason that Trump has this hypochondria, is because he was afraid of getting AIDS. And I don't think that Trump's hypochondria has anything to do with Roy Cohen. I don't know. I would say that it's something else connected to whatever, but it's not this specific thing. Maybe it triggered it. I don't know. And like I said, it's really hard to establish what the truth is because those two main characters of that movie lied all the time about everything. So, but anyway, Cohen said like that Trump was his best friend and that they talked about 25 times a day. And I am actually inclined to believe that because Trump is a horrible human being, yes, but he also is really good at maintaining relationships that he wants to maintain relationships with, right? So I think that the more that people said that Cohen was like a real despicable person, the more Trump was like, yeah, that's my guy, you know? And so I don't think that he threw him away like the movie suggests. I think the other parts of the movie are really really troubling, and I think that they feel true, but again, the whole movie is about how you cannot know what truth is. So there's a scene where, like, it details the relationship between Ivanka Trump and Trump. And so when they were divorced, Ivanka accused Donald of a very serious thing, right? And that is depicted in the movie quite graphically, and it feels like something that the character that's depicted in the movie would do. But to be balanced, she later claimed that he did not do that, and she was just, you know, very passionate at the time of the divorce, and now that they're good friends. But I don't know. Tell me this: like, how many friendships can survive that kind of accusation? I would say none. So I don't think that they were friends. And I think when Ivanka died, she was buried. Like, there was also some weird situation where she was buried somewhere so that Trump could get some kind of like advantage, of course. So yeah, I have it. So when she said that it didn't happen, he probably threatened to sue her because that's what he does, right? Sue, 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 sue. And probably at the time he had a lot more money than she did, so she just said, okay, I, it was an exaggeration or whatever. So as I said a few times, we'll never know because we weren't there, but he has been accused and tried and convicted of, it was a civil case, mind you, but he was tried and convicted of a similar crime to somebody else. So, based on his personality, based on his legal experience, I would have a tendency to believe that that actually happened. And I think, like, the problem with movies like this is that the people who should really watch them are not going to watch them because it's just not a movie that would appeal to them for like entertainment purposes and also for ideological purposes. Like, it's really surprising for me that people who really love Donald Trump are quite surprised by basic facts about his biography. Like, yeah, he was really good friends with Epstein. That's not a secret. And that was known when he was like running for election in 2016. And I think even what kind of person Epstein was known by then. And it was known in 2024. But it's just people, they were like, oh, Biden is old. Oh, and Trump's not old. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to go into that political morass because I think that they didn't have good options during those elections in 2016 and 2024, but Trump always has been like a pile of flaming excrement as a person and as a politician. So I think choosing him because I have no idea why anybody would like, and I don't want to say that. I know why people would do that, but in the year of our Lord 2025, if you don't know what kind of person Donald Trump is, good luck to you and your critical thinking skills, I would say. All right, but the movie is really, really good. What was the guy's name? The main actor? Da, 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 da. The main actor is Sebastian Stan, and Jeremy Strong also does a great job as Roy Cohn. I don't think it's quite accurate, but the point of the movie is not about is that like how what is truth? Is something accurate? Whatever. So it feels true. Was it really true? I don't know. I don't know. All right. Yes, so I promised if you watched the entire video of mine, all 14 minutes, I would give you a dad joke. What do you call a dog that does magic? A labracadabrador. All right. Yeah, if you liked what I do, please subscribe. My goal is to have 150 subscribers by the end of January. I think I have 128 right now, which is great. If you like this video, if you like my content, please check out the Patreon. Like if you still support Donald Trump in 2025, like maybe write a sentence why, and then we can talk about it, and then I can react to those things. And it would be good just not to, write a sentence like he's not a communist, but like something specific, some kind of like verifiable specific thing, action that he did or didn't do that was better than his competitors. I'm not saying his competitors are great, because they're not, but he's not, in my opinion. All right. Yeah, so check out the movie. Oh, yeah. All right. Also, if you like Donald Trump, watch this movie and then tell me what you think about it. All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.